It is Friday, September 10th, 2021, and I am Philip Waters. It seems to be the case in the cyber world, even when you have nothing to attack and all you stand for is good, there's still some people out there that'll attack you for whatever reason, jealous or attack on freedom and liberty or our way of life. I don't know, but I kind of feel for some of these people like Associated Press and some of the journalists that are being attacked by this malware called Pegasus or other malware. And I can't speak to whether or not these journalists stand for good, but I can kind of relate if they do, because I do. And I don't know who's been harassing my phone, but there is somebody. And so I felt kind of helpless up until this point when I learned about this mobile verification toolkit that you can use. And it's really, really easy. And I say that it requires some technical prowess, but I don't feel incredibly technically astute on some of these things, and it was pretty easy. So the MVT tool is a Python package that I just go pip3 install MVT, and then if I can use the CLI, which a lot of people can't, but it's pretty simple for those of us who can. It has this MVT iOS CLI where I can go decrypt my backup. So I go take my phone and I back it up, and then I go find the location of that and decrypt it, and then extract it using the check backup. And then I can go do some forensics on that. So like it'll create these lists of like all the calls that have come in, and then this timeline of all the transactions on the network and those kinds of things. So I can go ahead and look, and it'll say, here are a couple different phone numbers that have come in. This one, these are not real, right? These are people that have been just harassing me. I say people, it's probably a person that's faking this phone number, like a fake caller ID. And then I've been wondering, well, what can I see there, right? So what caught my attention is when it'll say, I've got like this MDNS responder. I was like, of course, there's got to be logs on the actual phone itself. So when you do this extraction, it'll go and it will create this directory structure inside of where you're extracted, including this manifest.db, right? And so I can go ahead and I can do SQLite, which is just installed there, and manifest.db, and you can see database and tables. And if I can say select star from files where relative path looks like this data usage. So I go here and you can see this is data usage database, and there's like a current usage table or something like that. There's a live usage and current usage, right? So I'm going to go look at that, and it's going to say, oh, okay, in your extract, this is the actual file. That's the manifest saying, when you're looking for what was pulled off your phone, this is where you're going to find it, right? So I can go ahead and go like this, and this says it's a SQLite database. So I'm going to say SQLite, and then the directory structure is it starts with the first two hex characters, and then again 609, right? So I can take a look at that and see tables, and there we see the live usage. Select star from Z live usage, and it's got a Unix epoch timestamp that's about 31 years off plus some seconds, and so I can't exactly correlate to what happened when, but nearby here there is a this Z process table, and it's kind of cool. Okay, look, this I can recognize, right? So this is my parent.seesaw.me. This is for my kids. And then what was happening here just not a few seconds before was it was going out to fidelity.com. Well, that makes sense. My app was probably running. I don't know if like it was triggered by the call. It doesn't really make sense that it would. But I can see here, which is neat, that here are domains that I can go ahead and look up. And so that got me to thinking, well, first of all, the very last event before, like I got that call, I hurried up and backed it up, and the last event in the list was this AK location sign-in alert authkit UI.apple.com. God. So maybe all that anybody cares about is I'm going to make a phone call. I'm going to do geolocation. I want to know where this guy is. I want to prove that I can track his movements. And that makes sense to me because I only ever get these phone calls when I've been in a place for a really long time. And then I've like, just shut off my cell phone for a while. And I've gone places, or like, then like last night, I just drove for 6 hours to get to this new location. And so if somebody's on the other side, which I don't know that there is, maybe it's just coincidence, maybe it's a bot, but somebody on the other side is like, oh man, I lost track of the guy, right? I've owned this guy's phone, but I don't know where he is now. Let me call him. It calls and hangs up, and then something would go and do some API call. It says it includes like geolocation that he can look at. Maybe, I don't know. Maybe I'm under surveillance by the FBI or something. I don't know. But I thought, well, there's got to be applications out there that do like DNS, and there are. So I found this DNS cloak application, and I can't speak to whether or not, like, I mean, it's in the iTunes store for whatever it's worth. And if I go to this information site, I got a little xenophobic about this right here, but all this says is like nonprofit organization in German. Okay, so here's this nonprofit organization that has this DNS cloak thing that includes proxying my DNS requests, VPNing the requests through so that I have some security, and then the logs are not kept in certain places. But lots of people would find value out of this, whether they're doing good or doing bad, just because privacy, right? So I'm taking a look at this, and I was able to download it, open it up. It's really easy to set up. So then I just thought, okay, what's one of these servers I can look? I know Cloudflare. So Cloudflare, I found Cloudflare security. There it was. I can bookmark that, and it's listed there. And then with the pancake stack menu at the top, I go into here, and really, this menu has me so I can just connect on demand. I've had turned that on so that every time it's going to do a network request, it's going to always like try to do the DNS request through the server that I pick. And then I turned on the service logs. There's nothing really to see in the service logs, like, okay, it started, it stopped. So I can probably even just turn that off. But then the DNS queries logs, that was what was interesting to me of there we go, right? So I've got URL data in there that I can correlate to, okay, some event, I got to call in, the next DNS request was this one. So I can have some confidence over whether or not that thing was doing something bad, right? Because ultimately every request on the internet is some remote attack. They've got to start with a DNS call, unless they have a static IP, which isn't going to last them very long. So the only other thing there is, like, when they do non-existing queries, it would show up in this NX logs. You can do blacklist, whitelist. That stuff I'm not really interested in. One other thing that I should mention, so besides this MVT tool, there's also iMazing, which is kind of based on the same stuff, the work that Amnesty International does, or some such thing. I know that you have to pay like $34 for a license for yourself for a year. But it's kind of neat because it has some features to be able to just go browsing some of the configuration files, and you can back up and extract, and even has a button you can go and check and make sure the the malware is not on your machine. So just wanted to make mention of that, and even have it already installed if I remember right. There we go. So there's a screenshot of that. What you can do is you say, hey, detect spyware, and next, and there's the sticks that come, and next, start, and it's going to go look for this malware. If it can, if it hasn't adapted its way of affecting your machine, your device, then the the malware indicators are going to be pulled down, and it's going to look for that and find it. So pretty cool. So just a couple of things there, and then the quad9.net, I learned that that's related to that proxy application. That DNS is 9999. Some more information about that. You'll have to tell me if it's nefarious or trustworthy. I just went quickly and I was like, I got to figure out something to fix this with. So what I forgot to do is when we're looking at when we're looking at the timelines on this MVT export, this MVT timeline, if there's something like a plist, I can do like PL util and see that. Let's see if this is one. So I went in and found, yeah, there we go. So select start from files where relative path like CSI data, and maybe that's the crime scene investigators, right? So we'll say 5F6. So you go P L util, and then just print it out in human readable format. This 5F61. Let's see, where am I at? I'm too far deep. There we go. So okay, so that one ended up being just like a raw file. But here's one. So here's this image. I don't even know what this one is, but I found it running across before. And if I was trying to look at just the file, it would look like that. But I can say PL util -P, and then it'll go ahead and it'll extract all the pieces from there. Just a handful of utilities that you can use to do your own analysis on your machine. Very time consuming, incredibly distracting. Plus the DNSCrypt utility, it's kind of fun to play with. Just thought I'd share. Thanks for taking the time.